Here's a tip. Some machines and online games have higher average payouts than others. Want to try to maximize your odds? Well, do some research online to find games which have the highest RTP or return to player percentage. So now, go get lucky. See you in Lost Pages. Let's get lucky.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
They're so close that we're barely going to be getting any value on the plus side of things. I think there's a little bit of value on the Blue Jays today, but it's an awesome division. Like, I don't want to see teams running away and be up by 12 games in first place. We want to see teams constantly battling for first place.
They hit a team total. I love that. So as many times as we get bad beats, you do get the same amount of good beats, typically in your direction, if you wait long enough.
Pro Baseball today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Let's roll. This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency. The pips, the players, the hustlers, the people that bustle them, and everybody else in between. The Friday Night Freak Show has begun. Let's do this thing, man. It's been an awesome couple of weeks of playoff action. It's literally and figuratively been one of the best postseasons in recent memory in both the NBA and the NHL. Great games. Oftentimes we look forward to sporting events, and they don't live up to the hype, and/or you get a couple of good games. We're getting great action on a nightly basis right now. We're going to overtime in Florida, and dare I say the series is on the line right now. The Toronto Maple Leafs win this. Even the Leafs won't blow a 3-0 lead, although I shouldn't say that, right? I probably should not say that. You can't say anything when it comes to the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Winnipeg Jets and the Dallas Stars. We like the Winnipeg Jets tonight. The Jets have not taken long to explode early in this hockey game. The Jets are up right now 2-0 early on the Dallas Stars, looking to even the series. And I'm not ready to write off the New York Jets, the Winnipeg Jets. I'm ready to write off the New York Jets. I'm not ready to write off the Winnipeg Jets yet. They came into tonight at 17-1 to win the Stanley Cup. Like, really? They have home ice advantage in every series that they play. All right, they lost the first game. I think Hellebuck is back. I think Hellebuck's going to be fine on the road. And I think Dallas, as good as they are, Rantanen's not going to score a hat trick every game. Like, this is one of these deals where it's like basketball, where, like, I don't know, like Jordan scored 62 and 67 or something. It's like, all right, listen, we're losing close games, and this other dude is doing stupid things. It's never been done before, and he's not going to continue to do it, right? So that's sort of the way I looked at this. I like the Jets tonight. I'm upset they're already up 2-0 because I wanted to bet more on them. I already have them, but I swear it's like I got to get involved. I got to get the Jets going. I fell for one of those for one of those odds boosts today. And I like the Maple Leafs tonight. They were big underdogs. And I like the Winnipeg Jets more than the Leafs today. But I saw it was like plus 450 or something like that, a two-team banger. It was like a super odds boost. And I was like, wow, I do like them both, so why not do it? And we're getting a pretty nice price here right now. So if we could pull this off, if the Leafs can pull this off, it'll put us in a nice spot with the Winnipeg Jets going into the evening. We got a bunch of those puck line parlays that we love, a little bit of insurance. Like, I got the Toronto Maple Leafs plus 2.5. That's already a winner in parlays. We got the Winnipeg Jets plus 2.5. What we need, and it's hard to hate a UFL team. You figure, well, how do you hate a UFL team? Nobody even pays attention to the UFL. I'm starting to really dislike the DC Defenders. I got to tell you. Like, if they lose this game, I'm really going to snap. And they're losing 18-12 right now. Like, they're always losing this team. I don't know how they're 4-2. I really don't know how this team. Like, they're freaking terrible. Rob Vino's going to step up and then join us later. And this team has frustrated Rob a lot, although this game does look like it's going to go over the number, which is somewhat of a surprise, even though we played the over. So it's 18-12 right now, midway through the third quarter of play. San Antonio are up on DC. DC were like 9.5-point favorites at kickoff. Total was 38. It's 44.5 right now. As far as the NBA is concerned, Pacers flat tonight. Cavaliers were in a must-win situation, down 2-0 in the series. And they're up 112-96 right now. Pacers, once you come back all the time, you kind of think you can do it all the time. I think that's like, the situation the Pacers are in. Oh, we're going to be fine. We can come back even if we're down. And they dug themselves a big-time hole. So they're down by 16 right now with about 6.5 left. I can live with a split. We got the over and we got the Pacers. So I could live with the split here with this basketball game. As far as the Nuggets and Thunder, all this stuff is, man, it's overwhelming almost. Man, there's a lot of stuff going on. Nuggets and Thunder, this is another roll of the dice. Give me the Denver Nuggets plus 200 on the money line. All right, you think about the point spread here. Is it going to be close? Like, are the Nuggets either going to blow the Thunder out or the Thunder going to blow the Nuggets out? So does the points really matter? I guess you could do both if you want, but I'm just thinking, you know what? I think the Nuggets can win this game, or they're going to lose by 9 or something like that, right? So, I like the Nuggets plus the 200. We've seen with Oklahoma City. They either murder you or lose, right? Like, they're not invincible, this team. It's just, when they sort of get mad and they go on a run, they're unstoppable. I don't really put too much stock in them beating Memphis. Memphis are terrible, right? So, and I think Denver will be much better on their home court. And plus, I saw Joker is actually wearing a Joker suit tonight. Nikola Jokic rolled into the building tonight wearing, like, the Heath Ledger look. Like, you can't make it up. It's just too good. He's got the purple and, he's got the whole thing going. So the Joker's like, if the Joker's going to be in Joker mode, then, I got to take the Joker, right? That's the way that goes. It's not a sign. It's an order. not a sign. It's an order. All right. So 113-96, Cavs up on the Pacers. It's been a high-scoring series with Oklahoma City and Denver. I kind of get the feeling that Denver, now that they're at home, they're going to control the tempo a little bit more. And I think, they probably will want to slow it down more than anything. So I'm not in love. And I see right now, let's get the updated number before tip-off here for this game. 232 right now. So it was 231. That's what I'm seeing. And I didn't even see it 233 right now. But that was like alternate getting ready in-game number to tip off here. So we got a 232. I wouldn't want to be betting the under. Man, the point spread's up to 6.5 right now. I said 200. You were getting plus 220. Yeah, I'm pulling the trigger. Denver Nuggets plus 220. I think, it's just too good to pass up. We're not talking about the Memphis Grizzlies here. We're not talking about, like, we're not talking about the Utah Jazz, right? The Denver Nuggets are good. Jokic is the best player in the league, and you're getting plus 220 on your home court right now in what I think is a winnable game. Yeah, Oklahoma City blew them out in the last game, but still, it doesn't mean they're going to murder them on the road. It was a perfect setup for them to kill them. So there's our pick for that game, Oklahoma City and Denver. We're going to try to cry this over home here in this Cleveland Pacer game. It's kind of slowed down over the last couple of minutes as far as points are concerned. We got to get the split and move on. We got overtime coming up. The Jets are up 2-0. In-game total is 6.5 right now over the Dallas Stars. Under 6.5 is plus 135. I know these games, like betting the under, is tough. This series did stay under the number in game one. it was a miracle that it did. We bet the 5.5. I thought we were toast. It was like 3-2 after the second period or something, wasn't it? Like it was a miracle that they didn't score another goal. But at plus money, I think the under 6.5 is a look here. I know there was 2 early goals, but that's why we're getting the value right now. And I'm going to jump in on this. I'm taking under 6.5 at. I'm taking under 6.5 at plus money right now in this game. I believe that Connor Hellebuck, I think Hellebuck is back. I don't think this turns into a track meet here. I think Hellebuck can keep this game under 6.5. And even like Winnipeg wins, like 4-1 or something like that, hell, 4-2, and we still get there. All right, we got hockey talk, basketball talk, baseball talk, a little soccer talk, and MMA. The UFC goes to my hometown for the first time in 10 years. Can't believe it's been 10 years. I was actually at that card 10 years ago. I believe it was Mighty Mouse Johnson who was the main event. We'll break it down on the other side. Let's roll.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all. It's
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5 points live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Man, let's do this thing helter-skelter style. Man, there's just so much going on. Bets are, these games are coming at us fast and furious right now. Talked about the Winnipeg Jets. They've scored 2 early goals on the Dallas Stars. Total 6.5 right now. We're still getting plus 115. Like I said, I'll maintain. I think that Connor Hellebuck is back. And our main man, Lou, Gamblu.com, who's going to step up in a second, understands this, right? There's no hot stock once the public knows about it. You have to be ahead of the public opinion of people. And people just believe, oh, Connor Hellebuck. He's terrible. But Connor Hellebuck's also 17-0-2 in his last 17-1-2 in his last 19 home games. He's too good. No, he's not just going to melt on the road in every game. And after the second period of the last game against the Blues in Game 7, he told them they won't score again. Like, he sort of had the swagger back right now. I thought coming into today, and there's a lot of emotion in the air right now with going back and forth with teams and the odds. It's a live market. Coming into today, guys, the Winnipeg Jets were 17-1 to win the Stanley Cup. Like, people have just written them off. They have home ice in every series they're going to play in. They won the President's Cup, which almost trophy, which makes you believe they're not going to win the Stanley Cup. But I just thought 17-1. Wow, people are giving up on this Jet team a little bit too quickly. And I know it sounds crazy because we'll see what happens with the Star Series here, but the Oilers seem unstoppable. And even I got a piece of the Oilers yesterday. But the Jets and the Oilers, I'm telling you, it's like you get Canadian on Canadian crime going and throw out like everything. Like the Oilers would, the Oilers and Jets would be a battle, trust me. And we got a battle in Montreal, but not with Le Canadien de Montreal, but UFC 315. Lou, Gamblu. Blues. I'm fired up to talk to you tonight, Lou, and things that we love so much. You got NHL playoff hockey, and we got fighting in the Belle Province in Montreal.
We got passion going on a Friday night, Gabriel, and I love it. I'm happy to drop in with you. And of all cities, your home city, Montreal, is the host of 315.
I haven't been there in a while, Lou, Montreal. Last time I was in Montreal, actually, you know what? I was at the Formula One a couple of years ago. I think it was 3 summers ago. I was at the Formula One. I was at the Stanley Cup Finals in the COVID era when they played the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I was in the building, Lou, 10 years ago. It's hard to believe 10 years since they've been in Montreal. And off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure it was Mighty Mouse Johnson, Demetrius Johnson. It was the main event the night I was there. And it was kind of an anticlimactic card. People in Montreal, Lou, got spoiled to GSP fights for years and title fights and all that, right? But I'm looking forward to this card. I paid attention to it, Lou. I've done more research than I normally have done. Like, I watched the weigh-ins. I know some of the backstory here. I like some of the storylines here. The Ratke guy talking smack about Canadians, and he's gonna, F Canada. And he's going in there. He's fighting Mallet. Mallet's going to be ready to go, Lou. Let's start off with the hockey action. I'm so excited, Lou. We got so many cool fights to talk about. And how Shevchenko is an underdog, which is, There's so much I want to ask you about this, but hockey. Toronto Maple Leafs, Lou, they're surprising everybody how well they're playing. I would say, listen, they win this game tonight. They're going to win this series and be up 3-0. They don't win this game. Suddenly, who knows what happens? This is a massive overtime, Lou.
This is a massive overtime, and it's way more important for Florida. There's a new sheriff in Toronto. I don't think that I anticipated Berube making this amount of pronounced difference in Toronto. Their depth at goaltender seems to be helping them, but I can't ignore what I'm seeing as well in the West with Edmonton overcoming a lot. And meanwhile, then there's the narrative of the public. Oh, Dallas is so beat up. Just everybody and their mama on Colorado, and Dallas wins. Now, Dallas is the chalk to win the cup, and everybody wants to forget about the President's Cup Winnipeg Jets. Not so fast, my friends. I do think Winnipeg is going to be competitive and is very live in that series, but I think it doesn't matter in the West. It's going to be a hard challenge for somebody to get past Edmonton from what it appears to me at this perspective.
It is amazing, isn't it, Lou, though? That's what I love about the playoffs, and I get it with the fans, but I don't have like a personal team playing left here, Lou, and I think it's helped me in a sense of you see things clear in a way, much like you do all the time. You're a clear-thinking man, but I'm just stating in the sense that when your team loses, like if the Maple Leafs lose tonight, Leaf Nation are going to be deflated, your mind starts to drift. We're going to blow the series. Oh, we could be up 3-0. But the market responds to this stuff. Like you said, I brought it up. The Winnipeg Jets, Lou, they came in today at 17-1. They're now 1-0 in a series. They have home ice in every series that they would play. They just showed their resiliency against the St. Louis Blues, coming back, scoring 2 goals in the final minute like they did. But it's such a day. It's, I guess the best way of putting it, Lou, it's like the betting market is totally just betting whatever they saw last, Lou. Oh, the Jets lost game 1. They're done, right? Oh, the Stars are unstoppable, right? Like, the people fall into this trap in the playoffs.
They absolutely do. And after decades of betting hockey series game by game, Tampa Bay's down 0-1, now you can bet the series. What in essence betting series bets through the series in hockey is very slowed down initial live betting. What live betting is today is betting those hockey games one by one, only in a much more abbreviated, much quicker pace. And one has taught me how to do the other. You can't listen. Winnipeg never said they were going to win the cup 16-0. They're going to lose a game or two. Don't get rattled when a team loses a game, especially the first game. But the bookmakers got to put out lines and the public got to overreact.
And I understand why people do, because all these teams are so good, so it's easy to fall in love with them.
Your college performance does not relate to the National Football League. It never does.
They played side by side with each other, and he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. That's an issue. That's a major issue.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn
Ewers. Ever
got
to Texas.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. It was Quinn Ewers' program, which Steve Sarkisian made very clear the entirety of the time that Arch Manning was in Austin. So for you to argue that because Ewers is a 7th-round pick, Arch Manning is not that good and not deserving of being first overall is asinine. It is wrong. It is incorrect.
I told you he's going to be number 1 overall. My whole thing was I'm buying
you're doing your thing now where you double down on a take that is incorrect.
The best quarterback prospect to ever hit college football can't play
He's
over
not,
a 7th-round pick
There were 2
who didn't even play good.
Quarterback recruits in the history of the sport.
Quinn Ewers couldn't even play at Ohio State. He couldn't even play at Ohio State.
Quinn Ewers. Go look it up.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
Man, I'm not even a Leaf fan, and I'm stressed out. But I do have money on him. And I did take him to win the cup. And I got a bunch of props. Big Saber Broski. The Leafs just sort out a really quick counterattack, sort of a one-on-one. But Big Saber Broski. Leafs are cycling the puck right now, so we'll keep you up to date as far as the overtime is concerned. We've got NBA basketball. 124-104 right now with a minute left in the Cavaliers and the Pacers. Dear God. So we're at 128 points, and the total is 231. So we need 3 points in 45 seconds, 49 seconds right now, except in the NBA, that's no guarantee with these stiffs. And plus, they don't shoot the ball like in the last couple of seconds because they all quit. Like, you know what I mean? They stand there, just dribble the ball, and they don't shoot. All right, they're at 30 right now. We literally need one more point to get the push, and we might not get it. There's only 30 seconds left. It's going to come down to a shot here, actually. This is depressing. And they miss. They miss the shot. Come on, somebody do something stupid and foul somebody late.
Yeah,
here.
get a foul.
Yeah, like somebody. But they don't, Lou. Oh, they just missed a little putback. I'm going to lose this by 1 point here, aren't I? Dear God, this is frustrating. This is you're a smart man for not betting on this crap, Lou.
Oh, I hate basketball.
I got over 231, and we get to 230. Let's see. I swear, Lou, the last couple of seconds of this stuff is torture. You got a bunch of stiffs in here. You know what I mean? It's like, even though you don't play, you're making like $4 or $5 million a year. Like, you figure you could like make a layup at the end of the game, but no, I knew I was going to get screwed. I needed 1 point in a minute, and I couldn't get it. All right, so 126-104, the final score in Indianapolis. Still 2-0 for the Winnipeg Jets. We'll get into the fighting, but let me see what Lou thinks about tomorrow's games. Carolina Hurricanes been big favorites, Lou, all the time against the Capitals. Now they're minus 210 home favorites, total 5.5. And the smoking hot Edmonton Oilers, winners of 6 straight hockey games now, host the Vegas Golden Knights and are minus 130 favorites. What are your thoughts on tomorrow's hockey games?
My thoughts are that a little bit similar and parallel to your thoughts on Winnipeg. Why and how is Washington getting so disrespected in their series and in the East? They only had the best record in the East, and for the last 2 weeks, they weren't even focused on hockey. They were getting over his record, and now they get to Montreal and they find themselves, meaning get their playoff legs under them, and they lose one game to Carolina, and they were 17-1 to win the Cup, which I took, and I took them in the East as well. Listen, Washington's big and heavy. They got Ovi. I like Logan Thompson. There's a lot to like about Washington, and mostly is that nobody's even talking about them. I think that's the best thing I like about them. They're not done. I look at them as the favorite in this series against Carolina, and yeah, Carolina was hot at home. Throw all those regular season diatribes away because Carolina was supposed to be bad on the road. They split in Washington. Hey, it's the second season. It's a new season, but Washington's big, they're heavy, and I think they're a freight train, and somebody going to have to try and get in their way, and I don't know what team in the East can.
You know, it's interesting, too. They were, like, severely disrespected, and then going into game 2, and I was on the Capitals last night. I took them at plus 145, and I was on the Canes in game 1. But, dude, game 1 was a 1-goal game. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like the Canes. So, like, I think people fell for it a little bit, Lou, that Carolina Hurricanes have so many more shot attempts. All right, so you're shooting the puck a lot more. They're not getting through. Like, the shots on goal aren't as one-sided as the shot attempts are, so to speak. Logan Thompson, for my money, Lou, has been the best goalie in the playoffs, actually. Ottinger's been really good this week. But, like, Thompson was great against the Canadians, Lou. He's been great in this series. Like I said, for my money, Thompson's been the most consistent and best goalie in the playoffs. And even if you look at the Canes against the Devils, those were close 5 games, Lou. Yeah, they won in 5. But trust me, I know. I bet them in 5 because I followed it. What, we had an overtime game. I think we might have 2 1-goal games. Like, the Canes are overpriced. I'm not saying they're not good, but it's crazy how the market sees them. And compared to, like, the reality of this, dear God, Florida are, like, really, like, coming close to scoring right now, guys. All right, let's get into some fights on the other side. UFC 315 with Gamblo.
and your college performance does not relate to the National Football League. It never
They
does.
played side by side
Yes.
with each other, and he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. That's an issue. That's a major issue.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn
they've ever
Ewers.
got to Texas.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. It was Quinn Ewers' program, which Steve Sarkisian
Why
made
would it be
very
Quinn
clear
Ewers'
the entirety of the time that Arch Manning was in Austin. So for you to argue that because Ewers is a 7th-round pick, Arch Manning is not that good and not deserving of being first overall is asinine. It is wrong.
I
It
just
is
told
incorrect.
you he's going to be number 1 overall. My whole thing was I'm
you're
buying
doing
him
your
because
thing now
I
where you
expect him to
double
have
down
decent
on a
season.
take
No, I'm
that
not
is
doing that.
incorrect
The
when I
best
show it's
quarterback
incorrect.
prospect to ever hit college football can't play
He's
over
not,
a 7th-round
There were
pick
two
who didn't even
perfectly
play
rated
good.
quarterback
Stop
recruits
it.
in the history
Stop
of the
it.
sport.
Quinn
Vince
Ewers couldn't
Young
even play at
and
Ohio
Quinn
State.
Ewers.
He couldn't even play at
Vince
Ohio
Young
State.
and Quinn Ewers. Go look it up.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
Let's roll. Still 4-4 right now in overtime. The puck is in the Leaf zone more than the Panthers zone. The Panthers have had more scoring opportunities in overtime, I would say. But the Leafs have had a couple of sort of flash quick ones. So it's here we are tied at 4 right now. This series really is on the line. I mean, it's not over-exaggerating, the difference between 2-1 and 3-0. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're the Toronto Maple Leafs. With the history of doubt in the past, you're playing the champions here. You know what I mean? You don't want to let the Panthers off the mat here, man. You've got them, they're down. Try to keep them down here and just bury them and make this a 3-0 series. So the Winnipeg Jets get to the room up 2-0 after the first period of play. We jumped in on that 6.5. It's still 6.5 right now, guys, but we got it at plus 130. Now it's minus 150 to the under 6.5. But I maintain I think this game is going to stay under that number. All right, we'll get to the fights. But Lou was talking about he likes this Capitals team. And the Oilers, Lou, this is where you sort of have to take the bigger view out of it. It's like, all right, no one would ever expect that the Oilers would be up 3-0 on the Vegas Golden Knights. But how do you not bet on the Edmonton Oilers going back home tomorrow? I mean, they've won 6 in a row right now. They're dialing things up, and to their own admission, and, oh, God, here's a breakaway for the Leafs. Big save on Nice. You got a little bit of a backhand off on it, but players are slowing down right now. But I'm taking the Oilers again, Lou, or what do you think? Do you think Vegas is going to steal this one back and get one back tomorrow?
Yeah, this is their season. And I expect their best effort. I tend to lean to road teams. That line was closer to pick 'em. You can see Vegas is already plus 103, 104. By tomorrow, it'll be 107, 110. I'm going to use Vegas tomorrow. And I have futures on Edmonton. And so if I'm wrong, I guess indirectly it doesn't hurt me. But once I have a future, it's compartmentalized, and I try and play game by game. I think the last hurrah for Vegas is tomorrow. Like, this is the last hurrah for Florida. In both cases, Florida and Vegas, two teams have played a lot of high-end physical hockey over the last 4 years, and they're both exhausted, in my opinion.
I'm amazed at the Panthers. I keep waiting for it to catch up to the Blue, to make it to 2 straight Stanley Cup Finals. Look, same with the Oilers, and then you throw in the Four Nations stuff as well. And speaking of, you want studs, Lou. The World Hockey Championships are going on in Sweden, and Sidney Crosby's there, Marc-Andre Fleury, Nate McKinnon. Oh God, like I don't know how Florida hasn't scored right now. Like you think they're on the power play. Like they're literally
That's
just
what it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like a shooting gallery, and there it is. They finally score. The puck wasn't going to stay out of the net at that point. Oh, Brad Marchand, it looks like, of all people. 5-4 Florida Panthers with 4:33 left in overtime. It was just a shooting gallery. The Leafs were on their heels, and you could see the puck was in the zone for like 50 seconds, and it was coming. There it is, Lou. We got a series now suddenly.
We got a series suddenly, and Florida going to believe and draw upon their reserve and their guile and their experience, and Toronto going to have to sit around and talk about it for 2 days until they get back on the ice. Well, this will be a
long
huge
2 days.
Yeah, no question. Now it's going to be a huge game 4 too.
Like if you're the Leafs, you just went from being up 3-0 and going golfing tomorrow to being up 2-1 to being stressed out tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Going
like
to get Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah, they would have been like a little quick 9 tomorrow, Lou. We're not, we're just a quick 9 to relax, right? Like now it's going to be like, oh God, like now we're going to sweat this out. Like, all right, we better win on Sunday.
Buy a 9.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now the coach is going to say, see you at 9 a.m. for morning skate.
That's right. That's exactly right.
All right, so UFC here, Lou. Bahal Muhammad. Listen, he gets criticized because he's not exciting. He's not exciting fighter, but exciting fighter. He's a winning fighter, right? And you look at him, and all this guy does is prove the haters wrong. I mean, when's the last time he lost a fight? 2019, Lou. 2019. How do you feel about this matchup against Madalena here?
I think this is a favorable matchup for Bilal here because Madalena is more singularly versed with striking boxing. And we saw against Hafez, even though it was a short notice fight, he struggled mightily against an unrelenting wrestler. Well, next to unrelenting wrestler in the dictionary is a picture of Muhammad. So Muhammad, despite the fact that he talks like he's going to stand with Madalena, he's going to stand with him long enough to press him against the fence and take him down. This is Bilal via decision, in my opinion, in a typical Bilal fight where he kind of rubs the guy all over the canvas for 5 rounds.
Yeah, and there's some jeering going on in the crowd. Lou, I don't like to fall for the same game parlays all the time and stuff like that, but I'm with you. I think he's going to win, and I think he's going to. I think it's going to go the distance here. So it's -105. Bilal to win, and the fight to go the distance. Any thoughts on the over here, or any little props? How are you going to approach this?
Over would be the way to go. Again, if you want to get crazy, then you maybe look at a Bilal inside the distance kind of thing because Madalena's never been 5 rounds or been in a main event before. So this is very new. This is some new stuff to him. But really, for me, to keep it simple, you're getting Bilal less than 2-1. He opened -175. I'm seeing -185. It's a very fair price on a guy that's more well versed with mixed martial arts.
All right, the co-main event, we got Manon Fiorot and Valentina Shevchenko, and I try not to think too much, Lou, about weigh-ins, and I haven't inspected weigh-ins, and I'm not at them like I used to be, but from what I saw today, Fiorot looked like she was pretty weak on the scale up there. And Shevchenko actually weighed in at like 124. She came in, a pound lighter. Did you catch the same thing here with Fiorot, who is actually a -138 favorite right now over Shevchenko?
No, Fiorot weighed in early, meaning in the first 20 minutes of the weigh-ins. And she looked drawn, but they all look drawn. To me, I favor Fiorot in this fight for one reason. Yes, Valentina is the GOAT. Yes, she has way more tools. And her advantage in this fight is that she's a wrestler, and Fiorot isn't necessarily a good wrestler. However, Fiorot is so big and so strong and thick I doubt whether Valentina is going to be able to use the wrestling to take her down. And in a stand-up fight, I favor Fiora, and so I'm on Fiora.
Interesting, and I'm not disagreeing with you. Interesting, and you have to wonder as well, Lou. Like, at what point does it catch up? Like, you look at Shevchenko, and you don't want to like sort of live in the past here. She's 37 years old right now, Lou, and she's been in a lot of wars, like some serious fights over the years. Does that catch up to her here? And like you said, Fiora's just that classic sort of French kickboxer, right? She's going to keep her distance. She can kick you in the head. She can strike you. She's good at using her range, too.
She's going to have to, because if it gets against the fence or against the floor, Valentina will turn the favor into her favor. Turn the fight into her favor.
Shevchenko is plus 110. Fiora is minus 138. The over-under 4.5, over 4.5 is minus 320. They're totally expecting this fight to go the distance. All right, we'll talk about Jose Aldo and Ayman Zahabi on the other side. Somewhat of a resurgence for Zahabi right now.
Your college performance does not relate to the National Football League. It never does.
They played side by side with each other, and he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. That's an issue. That's a major issue.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers.
Ever got to Texas.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. It was Quinn Ewers' program, which Steve Sarkisian made very clear the entirety of the time that Arch Manning was in Austin. So for you to argue that because Ewers is a 7th-round pick, Arch Manning is not that good and not deserving of being first overall is asinine. It is wrong. It is incorrect.
He's going to be number 1 overall. My whole thing was I'm buying
you're doing your thing now where you double down on a take that is incorrect.
The best quarterback prospect to ever hit college football can't play.
He's
over
not
a 7th-round pick.
There were 2 perfectly rated quarterback recruits in the history of the sport.
Quinn Ewers couldn't even play at Ohio State. He couldn't even play at Ohio State.
Quinn Ewers. Go look it up.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
Well, we got a series now. 2-1 Leafs. Panthers win 5-4 in overtime. 2-0 for the Jets over the Stars after 20 minutes of play. We got NBA basketball 24-18 for the Oklahoma City Thunder right now early in this game. Actually, not too early. There's 3 minutes left in the first, so the in-game total is 231.5 right now in that game. And we're talking UFC 315 with the great Lou Gamblou from Gamblou.com. So as far as the fights are concerned, Lou, it sounded like you like Bahal Muhammad. We talked about it being a longer fight. You like Manuel Fior against Shevchenko. Let's get into Jose Aldo and Ayman Zahabi. Longtime listeners of SportsRage and viewers of MMA Meltdown would know we used to have Ayman on. We've had him on in person. Fellow Montrealer. He's Faraz Zahabi's younger brother. And Faraz Zahabi, of course, was trainer of Georges St. Pierre. They run TriStar. So Zahabi's grown up in MMA. And, he was kind of being sort of groomed as like, this kid's going to be special. He trains with GSP and Rory and Rory McDonald and like, he's going to be the next thing type of deal. And it never really happened, right? He was kind of a boring fighter. He didn't seem to have that next level. And I don't know if he loved it, Lou. I don't know if he felt like I'm kind of pushed into this because of who I am. Sometimes, fighters, Lou, personally, right? So they got to be in the right space mentally and stuff. So he kind of took a couple of years off, but now he's won his last 3 fights. And people thought, all right, let's see him fight some tougher opponents. And he's been beating the tougher opponents, Lou. So now I was almost surprised. I was like, wow, Ayman Zahabi's fighting Jose Aldo. And I know Aldo's a little older now, Lou, but this is a big fight for Zahabi in his career here, in his own hometown.
Huge fight for Zahabi. Aldo really was a guy that was going to be hard not to take a look at in this fight until the weigh-ins this morning. When the weight snafu came up, he couldn't make 35. They agreed to fight at 45. Zahabi made weight, smiles, no problem. Aldo looking a little weak knee willied. I can't trust Aldo at this age and this situation. For me, what I would do is try and find a way to like Zahabi. I want to like Zahabi, and maybe the way I do that is on the points handicap. They're making it tough for me because if I take Zahabi plus 3.5, I got to pay 180. And if they want me to not do it that bad, God dang it, I think I want to do it. And so that's where I'm going to go with this. Zahabi plus the 3.5 minus 180 in a fight with the total on a 3-round fight line 2.5 over minus 300 and something. So I think it's going to decision, and I'm going to take the hometown kid, look for some little home cooking, and the 3.5 points.
No, I like where you're going with that, Lou. And you know what? I'm getting the numbers are always going to be a little bit different ever because my 2.5 is over 2.5 is 425. But
yes, even more so.
Zahabi plus 3.5. I got minus 165. Not bad.
Whoa.
And I like what you said. And you don't want to fall for it all the time, but I've used the line for years, Lou, as well. When the odds makers set a number and stuff, my analogy is like it's like somebody that has the beware of dog or never mind dog, beware of gun, on their garage. They're hiding something. They got something valuable in there, Lou. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like the same thing with this. It's like, yeah, you know what? They're trying to protect themselves. They do it in the NBA with these first half bets and stuff, Lou, all the time. They know that the smart guys know how to attack it in the first quarter, first half. And like a team, Lou, could be like a 4.5 point favorite in the game. And the book is like, yeah, they're 4.5 point favorites in the first quarter, jackasses. We're not getting beat. You want to, the money line's minus 350. If you want to do it, go ahead and do it. And you're like, son of a bitch, so I understand your protection analogy there. So you're gonna play the point spread here, but you're gonna sprinkle on the money lines, Zahabi plus 160 as well.
No, I'm just gonna play points
just point spread. Yeah.
Yes, and there's another situation just like this on the first fight of the night with Katona and the kid Alma Khan. Katona, Canadian, durable, second trip in the UFC, never been finished. Alma Khan, younger, bigger, stronger, flashier, looks great off a loss to Umar Nurmagomedov, so everybody's a believer. But I'm telling you what, this Katona is durable, and he's boring as he's like watching paint dry. That's how you watch him fight. He's a wrestler.
I love fighters like that.
And that's it. But he's going to be there at the end. Katona's a guy that I would take as a dog. He's live as a dog. Interesting, yeah. And Katona's also a guy I highly recommend on the points. And if you want to use Katona on the plus 3.5 points, I got that at minus 190. And you want to use it with Zahabi, I think that's a marvelous little parlay you could get involved with there.
I brought up the Charles Radke, the Chucky Radke fight, and Mike Mallet. And Mallet's taking the high road here, Lou. So basically, Radke's like, I've been watching the hockey playoffs and the booing the anthems, and I don't care that this and that, and my family were in the Marines, and so he's taking this, And, you know, whatever, Lou. Everybody, and like Mallet said, hey, whatever motivates him. You know what I mean? Right? So, you know, and he's like, you know, F you, Canada. I'm stepping up for the USA here. Mallet said, I'm just trying to win a fight in the UFC. I don't listen to outside noise. Mallet's a minus 188 favorite right now, Lou, against Radke. What do you think of this fight?
I think that the UFC went out of their way to give Mallet a winnable fight to be able to look good in front of Canada. This kid Radke is game and willing. Obviously, he can talk. He's got a left hook, and if he hits anyone with the left hook, he's going to wobble him. But that's really all he's got. This fight's designed. It's a setup fight. It's designed to make Mallet look good.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, and I'm curious your take on the Silva and Barrio fight. You know, not every Canadian's going to win, right? You know, on this card, should Barrio be a minus 150 favorite against Silva, Lou, in your opinion?
Both these guys have no durability, but Silva missed weight by a pound. It cost him money, and he almost cried on the scale today. There was so much dejection. These guys don't get paid enough to give it away. I like Barrio.
Your college performance does not relate to the National Football League. It never does.
They played side by side with each other, and he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. That's an issue. That's a major issue.
It wasn't that he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers.
Ever got to Texas.
It wasn't that he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. It was Quinn Ewers' program, which Steve Sarkisian made very clear the entirety of the time that Arch Manning was in Austin. So for you to argue that because Ewers is a 7th-round pick, Arch Manning is not that good and not deserving of being first overall is asinine. It is wrong. It is incorrect.
I told you he's going to be number 1 overall. My whole thing was I'm buying
you're doing your thing now where you double down on a take
no, I'm
that
not
is
doing
incorrect.
That. The best quarterback prospect to ever hit college football can't play.
He's
over
not
a 7th-round
There were
pick
two
who didn't even
perfectly
play
rated
good.
quarterback recruits in the history of the sport.
Quinn Ewers couldn't even play at Ohio State. He couldn't even play at Ohio State.
Quinn Ewers. Go look it up.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
Well, you know what? This is what we're here for. I know there's a lot of other stuff going on right now, but we got a pretty good one in the UFL going on right now. 25-24. DC Defenders are up by a single point. The game has already gone over the number, and you know what, the UFL guys, like the first 4 weeks, it was like, you know, I don't know, it was like 13-2 or something, or 12-2 to the under. The last 3 weeks has been an overfest. It's just like as we're into week 7 now in the UFL. All right, so we're with Lou, Gamblu.com. Check out his podcasts as well, videos, podcasts. Lou's all over the place. Lou, we got Grasso and Natalia Silva. Silva's a minus 250 favorite. And a heavy over here, 2.5, minus 500 to the over. Do you think Grasso is a live underdog in this fight?
I do. Here's a fight that opened to Pick'em. And at Pick'em, I thought it showed great respect for the Brazilian Silva. Silva stepping up in class just dynamically. She has fought in the UFC a handful of times against ascending talent, and each time she's passed the test. She has great feet, great athleticism. She's a striker and a kicker, and really she doesn't want it dirty. She's pretty as a button. Meanwhile, Grasso is your typical Mexican striker, and she's tough and durable and forward pressing, but she doesn't have Silva's feet. And so if Grasso can find her way inside, she's going to pummel this beautiful Brazilian woman. And if she can't get inside, the beautiful Brazilian is going to leg kick her and strike her from outside and win a decision. If Grasso can get inside, I think she can do some good damage on Silva. It'll be whether she can or not. I believe the experience of Grasso, the fact that she's coming off 3 straight fights with Valentina, gives her a pedigree that the other girl Silva doesn't have. I'm all about Grasso at plus 210, 220, whatever.
Love where you're going with it. I'm on board. I will say this too, not to be generic about it, but the Quebec, weird things happen in Quebec. Think of Quebec like Texas or New York.
Oh, great.
They make up their own rules in Quebec. And in fact, they actually did, Lou. There's no the down thing is not allowed in Quebec. But anyways, like I was at a Cote fight once. Like I said, it can get shady.
Oh.
And who's the shadiest? And that's a strong word. Sal D'Amato. I was gonna say though, for judges, who out of all the judges, Sal D'Amato always seems to be in the middle of stuff. You know where he's.
Yeah,
where he's from?
Texas,
Montreal.
Jersey. Oh, is
he's
he
from
really?
Montreal.
Oh.
Sal D'Amato. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just saying. Like, no. Texas don't know what the hell they're doing. New York is whacked out. They're so used to boxing, and Montreal is just sort
bad.
of
Jersey's terrible. Jersey and Texas is terrible.
So we agree on the Texas part. Speaking of Canada, what about the Juice and Vicious fight here, Lou? She's like a 3-1 favorite, minus 330. But do you think she gets it done? Is she parlay material? And we got Cutabella on the card as well. We got about 3 minutes, so I'll give you the floor. What about some of these other ones?
Yeah, Jazz, take her. If you go to your FanDuels or the other one, you can go in. Inside the distance with Jasmine to win via any finish, plus 175. Andrade is a whirlwind at 15. She's fighting at 25 after fighting at 15 her last fight. Jazz is huge for 125. Jazz is I think Jazz finishes Andrade in this fight. She wants to and needs to. And then Ion Cutelaba, a madman from Moldova, facing Modestas Bukauskas from Lithuania. These are just 2 countries away. Bukauskas got size and striking. Cutelaba has a little bit of IQ in his last few fights and wrestling, and for that reason, I'm going to lean to Cutelaba.
We didn't get to Daniel Santos and Lee. Kind of a strange fight to be thrown on in Quebec here that they threw this one on there. But any opinion on that one? And we didn't hit Sterling, Urslan. I think those are the only 2 we didn't get to actually. Oh, and Saint Denis as well.
Saint Denis gets a stand-in. He'll roll over that short notice Canadian that's stepping in. Lee and Santos, I don't have a strong feel on. And Sterling's too much stand-up. He'll probably win via KO in his fight.
Check out Lou, Gamblu.com. Awesome stuff as always, Lou.
Thanks, guys. Good luck, everyone.
your college performance does not relate to the National Football League. It never does.
They played side by side with each other, and he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. That's an issue. That's a major issue.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers.
Ever got to Texas.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. It was Quinn Ewers' program, which Steve Sarkisian made very clear the entirety of the time that Arch Manning was in Austin. So for you to argue that because Ewers is a 7th-round pick, Arch Manning is not that good and not deserving of being first overall is asinine. It is wrong. It is incorrect.
He's going to be number 1 overall. My whole thing was I'm buying
you're doing your thing now where you double down on a take
no, I'm
that
not
is
doing
incorrect.
That. The best quarterback prospect to ever hit college football can't play
He's
over
not,
a 7th-round
There were
pick
two
who didn't even play good.
Quarterback recruits in the history of the sport.
Quinn Ewers couldn't even play at Ohio State. He couldn't even play at Ohio State.
Quinn Ewers. Go look it up.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency, and of course, we named a new pope this weekend. We have more smoke billowing from the chimney right now. The DC defender scored a touchdown, which is like as rare as like a new pope. Rob Vino steps up in it. Rob, so did they actually just throw? Was this a trick play? Let's see who threw it. No, Jordan Tamu actually just threw a touchdown pass. Like, for the love of God, Rob, I tweeted out earlier, and I'm on to DC Defenders here, but I tweeted out earlier, it's hard to hate a UFL team. Nobody really pays attention to this league, but you and I do. And God, I'm starting to hate the DC Defenders. Like, I really like, I know I liked your line that you told me a couple of weeks ago. You're like, this team is like, this team has me getting the shot glasses out right now.
Yeah. They're aggravating, to put it in one simple word. They're aggravating. But I think that we've discovered the right read on these guys. You can play them as underdogs. You can't play them as favorites because things like tonight happened. A team that scored 6 points in 2 games, a team that reinvented their playbook mid-season about a couple of weeks ago, or maybe last week. They installed a whole new system. And against DC, they go out and score 24 points. So hard to lay 9 with a team like that. But we did get there with the over tonight, Gabe, rather easily. And these UFL overs are starting to trend real heavy after an early swarm of unders the first 3 weeks. But now it seems to be all over the totals.
What would you say the last 3 weeks? I think it's like 10-2, maybe 11-1. We didn't get one last week, right? There was one. I remember I lost. I got burnt on 1 or 2 of them, but I think it's like 10-2 type of deal, Rob. Like, it's just been, over. Like, and it doesn't even make sense. You and I know. I'm like, I don't know where the hell the points are coming from tonight in this game, Rob, but I'll bet the over, and here we are.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think that, well, in the case of tonight, you could probably trust San Antonio's defense to give up a whole bunch as long as DC were to score touchdowns.
Let's see if they can get to 2, Rob. Does anybody ever succeed in their conversions? Like, this league is like rugby. It goes in 6s. It really does. Like, it goes in 6s. It's so frustrating. So they're up by 7 right now. They're going for 1. Of course, you guys ended up closing as 9. You can't go for the point spread. So they go for 1.
They're aggravating, to say the least.
They know the point spread, guys. You even covered. Just all right, we're going to go for it.
Right.
Oh. So, they're up 32-24 right now, which is just stupid because San Antonio can actually go for like a 3. You can get 9 points with a touchdown and a 3, but you got to do it from the 10. But there's still 1:55 left here. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe there's a pick 6 or something weird happens. But let me ask you, Rob, speaking of totals, we're right on the number right now, bro, like where it started. Oklahoma City and Denver, 231.5. We got a 40-39 game. Denver getting back in this thing right now. What do you think about this game, Rob?
Yeah, it's 79. Let me just do some quick math in my head. It seems to be a shade higher scoring, or maybe it's right around where I thought it would be, Gabe. I thought maybe, and I talked about this afternoon with a colleague of mine from Wager Talk, that maybe off of the comments made by the Denver head coach and the embarrassment giving up 87 first half points the other night, Denver would at home and their home opener in this series play a little bit better defense. In Oklahoma City, of course, defense should travel. Thought maybe the overall total was a little too high by maybe a handful of points. It looks like it's on pace. Now, what's in game right now, Gabe? Is in game the same as the Oklahoma?
Exactly, 231.5, yeah. And I thought the same thing. You and I think the same. Because I said off the top of the program, I said, the overs have gotten here in this series so far, both games. But I figured now Denver at home, they're going to control the tempo more. And we know Denver, they don't want to run with Oklahoma City in every game, right? So I thought the same thing, that they would control the tempo. But then I was like, you know what? It's the modern NBA. Don't kid yourself. There's going to be points in this game, right? There's going to be points. And right on pace right now. And Denver, listen, it started off kind of slow. Listen, it was only 28-22 after the first, Rob. So we've scored 29 points in the first 4 minutes. Now we just got another deuce on the board here. So I think it gets there. I think it's going to go over the 231.5.
Yeah, it's real possible, Gabe. I'll tell you this. If you just want to base your play on opportunity for scoring points, this series has been head and shoulders above all the rest. I broke out a couple of numbers the other day in this series in particular where I bet a lot of totals, so I use a category that I call potential points, which basically means if every shot taken in a game went through the hoop, how many would they have scored? Game one of this series, if every single shot they took went through the hoop, they would have scored 526 points, which is crazy. And then this game two, it was 498. So the opportunities are going to be there with these two. It's a matter of how many they make. And for Oklahoma City in that Memphis series, there were a lot of points available during the game, but Memphis shot lousy a couple of games, and Oklahoma City kind of faded for a quarter or so in a couple of those games, which kept 3 of the 4 under. That's what I was kind of afraid of here tonight.
Rob Vino kicking us, wagertalk.com, Rob Vino Sports in the house. I am Gabriel Morency on the SportsGrid Radio and Television Network, Sirius XM Channel 159. So, Rob, tomorrow afternoon, the Garden is going to be rocking. The Knicks are getting 5.5 right now. It opened at 4.5 and has been bet up to 5.5 over the last 24 to 36 hours or whatever. Over under sits at 205 and a half. You know, I know you're a number. You look at it, you know what the past history of these teams, and it was basically like 10 games in a row, Rob, of 212 or more with them. So, of course, like it opens 212.5 in game one. It closes 214. They get to 213. Game two, extremely lower scoring right now. So now we've got a lower total here at 205.5 tomorrow. And the Celtics laying 5.5. What are your thoughts on this big monster tilt?
Well, I mean, it's simplistic, Gabe, but even simple can get you paid sometimes. But I'm going to bang my head against the brick wall one more time here with the Boston offense, which continues to shoot 25% from three. Their team total, get away from the full game total for a minute. Their team total is all the way down to 105.5 in this game. You're asking for 106 out of Boston. Last 8 games against the Knicks, they've scored 108 or better up until the 2 playoff games, right? So they definitely had the Knicks number. It's these fourth quarters that are killing them, 17 and 16-point fourth quarters. And for those, I know the narrative out there is, and it's true, Boston lives and dies by the 3, right? And they haven't been good from 3. But I'll say this, they scored 61 points in the first half of game 1, and they were 3 of 18 from 3. And 52 of those 61 came from either inside the paint or at the free throw line, so they can do it. Just not making shots right now. I kind of believe Joe Mazzulla hasn't made a lot of adjustments in this series, kind of arrogant in his thinking, I guess, or maybe the players are just taking over and doing what they want. But I kind of don't blame him for sticking to a blueprint here. So we'll see. I think over 105.5 for the Boston team total is a pretty good total play tomorrow, and I wouldn't be surprised if Boston breaks out the way Cleveland broke out tonight, right, and just absolutely pasted Indiana.
Minnesota Timberwolves are in San Francisco tomorrow, minus 220 on the money line. The Warriors are plus 180 on the money line. No Steph Curry, Anthony Edwards good to go. T-Wolves lay 5 points on the point spread. Total is 200.5 right now. We'll get Rob's thoughts on that game on the other side. We'll take a look at the rest of the UFL card. We'll talk about the Cavaliers. Pacers, get you caught up to date with the Major League Baseball situation. And D.C. have San Antonio at a 3rd and 31 right now. Let's get a safety or something here. Let's go. Give us a couple more points.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
It's too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
All right, we're talking everything with Rob Vino. I am Gabriel Morency. Let's do this thing. We're bouncing around from sport to sport here. But we got the T-Wolves and the Warriors tomorrow night in San Francisco. Minnesota's a strange team. They're a little DC Defender-ish, like, Rob. You don't really know which T-Wolf team will show up, right? The Warriors are resilient. Say what you will about them, but they are a resilient basketball team. They're getting 5 points on their home court, total 200.5. Any opinion on the T-Wolves and Warriors game and series?
Yeah, it's hard for me to just off the top back Golden State, but then I took a look at the numbers from last night, Gabe, and what was basically a Minnesota rout when you look at the final score. But you're right, they didn't play tremendously well. Anthony Edwards had got called out by his head coach after game one and didn't play well, missed a lot of shots at the rim. I think if you played his props of any sort, points, rebounds, assists, you lost them all. Randall came to play. wasn't really till late third when they broke that thing wide open. So Golden State did hang in. I just have trouble looking at Golden State offensively right now. It's just very, very hard to see any type of rhythm out of their offense. And they're going to have to win these games without Steph based on defense only. And the other team's just as good defensively. So maybe a look at the under. I mean, I know the odds makers have pushed it all the way down to like 200.5 here. So you're asking for a really, really low scoring game. But I just don't know where Golden State points are coming from. Jimmy Butler has had a real good playoff history. But looking at him last night, he just doesn't look like the guy who can go off for 30 the way Steph would in any of these games. And behind that, I just don't know. Kuminga had 18, I guess, to lead the team last night. I probably would trust Minnesota to win. Actually, I'm sitting with a Minnesota series bet. I laid $1.85 to win this series. Steph goes down. I'm kind of hoping he stays out for a while so Minnesota can get a lead. So I don't really have to bet it. I can just root for my series bet. But I do think maybe you have to look at under in that game.
You mentioned it a couple of minutes ago. The Cavaliers needed this game. They showed up, but tonight they punched the Pacers in the mouth early. The Pacers sort of got a little soft, I think. They kept coming back all the time. Look at us. Look how good we are. It was a little bit humbling for them tonight. It was frustrating for me, Rob, because I got a 231, and they got to 230. Right, and the last minute was painful. Just these stupid scrubs missing easy shots. I hate, it was hard to watch on the last minute. Cavaliers are laying 4.5. What would you expect for the Pacers on Sunday? They should be a lot better on Sunday than they were tonight.
Yeah, I'd expect a bounce back out of them at home. They're a really good home team, and they're a high-scoring home team, and only putting up 104 tonight just tells me that they're probably destined for the 116-plus area in the next game against Cleveland. Cleveland defensively really hasn't been terrific throughout these playoffs, and they did get their good defenders back tonight, right? Mobley and Hunter are arguably the two best defenders on that team, so it helps them. But in game one, those guys were present in Cleveland, and Indiana got to 121. So I'm kind of a big bounce back guys with these teams that underperform. They do something really, really well, and they underperform in that area, which Indiana did tonight offensively. So I might look at an Indiana team total there, and I would probably look at plus points in that game. I think Indiana will fight a lot harder in that one than they did tonight.
Let's get back to the UFL right now, Rob. Michigan Panthers and the Arlington Renegades tomorrow. Michigan -3 on the road. Total 42.5. Money line -165. Renegades money line +140. Do we continue to ride the over wave in the UFL?
I think I have to, Gabe, and I base that mostly on the fact that, to me, Michigan looks unstoppable right now offensively. I mean, if we were talking NFL football, we would say the Lions and the Eagles have such dominant offensive lines that they can't be stopped. But you watch the last 3 weeks of Michigan Panther football, and the offensive line is just blowing people off the line of scrimmage. They run it well. They throw it consistently. I mean, they've had like 2 or 3 weeks out of the last 4 where they've had 70% completions, move the ball up and down the field. So I think based on their offensive prowess right now, I'd have to bet over. I think Arlington can answer a little bit here because Michigan's defense hasn't been the best. They got caught in a couple of high-scoring affairs last week. I think they got to 52. They did most of the damage against D.C. Arlington, I think they can get enough here, Gabe, but again, they're a little frustrating watching Luis Perez and these guys go and move the football first down.
Terrible red zone.
Then do something exactly. Just can't get it in the end zone, right?
And a lot of dinking and dunking, short sort of, a lot of quick hits. So they like you said, the 7 and 8 plays down the field. And then they go for it, they don't get it, or they settle for the field goal. And Michigan, the last couple of years, Rob, I mean, you could say they're sort of the best team that hasn't won, right? You sort of get the feeling right now. I mean, we've been hanging our hat a lot on Birmingham in the past, and let's just say it. This is not the same Birmingham team offensively at all. I mean, hell, I'm watching their game. I'm like, who the hell is this at quarterback now? What, they're into Peasley? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're out of quarterbacks, but that offense been struggling all year. The defense is really good for Birmingham, but they're not the juggernaut powerhouse that they were before.
They're not, and Houston actually has turned a corner. midseason, right? Houston's become a pretty good team and a fairly dependable offensive team. I think that game against Memphis last week, you first glance, you say two dregs of the league can't really score, but they put up the points. Houston can score at this point in time. I wouldn't be surprised if Houston sticks within that number. Real quick, while it's running through my head here, Gabe, you asked earlier, we were laughing about it, does anybody make extra points in this league? But Mike Nolan always goes for one, and Michigan always gets the one. They're a team that you can count on for 7. They're not going to go for 2. They're not going to go for 3. They're going to run the ball in from the 3-yard line. So these totals are difficult because there's no key numbers. It's not like the NFL or college football where we can have a list of key numbers and go from there. Here, it's a little bit of guesswork, but with Michigan, they do get 7s.
Yeah, and I agree. I think we can get there. And I think we can get there with Houston and Birmingham. 5 touchdowns is, even without the conversions, gets us to 30. 3 field goals gets us to 39. We got a total of 38. We'll hit the Battlehawks, Memphis Showboats on the other side, and we'll see if Rob likes anything on the baseball card this weekend.
Think that there's something to the fact that they blow all these leads against the Edmonton Oilers? It's like the Oilers can be down 4 goals and they come back like it's nothing.
We got a series now. I think this thing is going to reset, Scott. I think home ice advantage is going to hold true in this series. I think I told you that last week. I'm expecting this. I picked the Kings in 7 before the series started, and it's like plus 700.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Under him was Sharon Moore, who also participated in the cheating scandal with Connor Stallions. So you know what happens to him? He doesn't lose his job. He doesn't get a 10-year show cause. He gets to keep his job, and they go, we're just going to suspend you for 2 games next season.
Now, all of a sudden, they're coming out with everything that we knew to be pretty much true when it was happening. Yeah, they were cheating. It was like Belichick and the videotapes, right?
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
The Warriors' future was uncertain. Are they going to break it up? Is Steve Kerr coming back? They get Jimmy Butler, and they surge all the way through, and now they're through the first round.
The Warriors have guys, because of how special their star 3 trio is, they can make the guys around them better. They can elevate the way that they play. And we saw that. Steph Curry, 3 points in the first half, steps up in the second half, 19 points in the second half to carry them home.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
Well, that's just great. The Arizona Diamondbacks just hit a grand slam. We got an 8-8 game with the Los Angeles Dodgers. So not only frustrated from a Dodger perspective, I got to listen to Rob Vino's colleague, Tony Finn, come in a couple of minutes and blame Dave Roberts and start crying about the Dodgers like he always does.
Is he still? He's been on Dave Roberts' ass for about 5 years.
Yeah. Dave Roberts going to go to the Hall of Fame, and he's going to be he's going to be crying about it. He's terrible. He's going to be going in the day he goes into the Hall of Fame. He gets inducted. Do they score the last bucket here? No. 56-51 at the half right now. Oklahoma City up 56-51. They're laying 7.5 right now. In-game total 226 and a half. Rob Vino with us for a couple of more moments. So, Rob, yeah, we got the Houston Roughnecks. I think we agree. That sounds crazy, but Birmingham are overpriced right now at 5.5. I'll roll the dice on the over 38. Then we got the Battlehawks and the Showboats on Sunday afternoon. Any opinion on that one?
Much like Houston, Gabe, since Memphis had the quarterback switch, right, for Houston, it's been Jalen McClendon, but here it's been Dresser Wynn. Since E.J. Perry got the hook, and then the second teamer got the hook, we wind up, I think it was Garantano who got the hook. Now we're here with Dresser Wynn. They throw the football. They look to go vertical. They're a scoring threat as well, so we may be able to get over in this game as well. St. Louis, a good offensive team, always dependent upon whether they throw the ball well enough because they do run it well enough with Sailors. So I really think that game probably gets over the number just because Memphis, and I'm going to put them together, lump them together with Houston, and just say they're both really improved offensively because of the quarterback play.
Rob Vino in the house with us just for a couple of more moments. And listen, the UFL, we like to bet on it. We're starting to win some money here. We've done well with it on these UFLs and XFLs over the years, but we have a higher level of football coming. The CFL is next in line, and they only play two preseason games, and the first one is next Monday. So the season starts on June 5th. So we're less than a month away. We're about 3.5 weeks away right now from the start of the regular season. And a quick look at the odds. The Toronto Argonauts are the favorites at plus 280 to repeat. And the Argos never win when they're supposed to, and they win every couple of years when people don't expect them to. The Montreal Alouettes are plus 425. Wow, there's some weird numbers here. Saskatchewan Roughriders are 5-1. Really? Winnipeg Blue Bombers. You see Zach Collaros, Rob, got suspended for ignoring their drug test. They said that it was 3 years in a row that he's purposely avoided being drug tested by them. So they suspend him. I love the CFL punishment, Rob. 1 game. He's suspended 1 game. So Zach Collaros suspended. Winnipeg are plus 550. BC Lions are plus 650. Red Blacks 7-1. Edmonton Elks are 10-1. Ticats 10-1. Stampeders are 30-1. It's a nice number for the Stampeders right there. I think, Rob, just quickly, I think the Stampeders are going to be greatly improved. Dickinson's reputation's on the line. They've spent some money there. They've greatly improved the offense. They're going to be much better. I think the Edmonton Elks are finally going to be a little bit better, but that's kind of wishful thinking. They always find a way to screw it up. And BC, who were underachievers last year, new coach, Nate Rourke in there for an entire camp. They had a great signing off season. They got Matthew Betts, their star defensive player, back from the Detroit Lions. He was with the Lions. Now he's with the other Lions now. I think BC's going to have a good year this year, Rob. I look forward to crushing this league again.
Yeah, a couple of quick thoughts there, Gabe. I would expect BC to have a bounce back year. Last year was not expected the way they, ended that regular season. I love Edmonton when Trey Ford is at the helm, and if we get Trey Ford at quarterback, I think we like to talk overs, but I know cash a lot. He
is the starter.
Yeah.
So they've given him the job. He's got to keep it, but he is the starter finally coming into the season.
Such a threat, right? And I think I read that Fajardo was the backup there, so a pretty good quarterback hands for them. I would ask you real quick because I know last year a lot of people were high on Ottawa. And Ottawa didn't really pan out for a full season. But you like Ottawa at all this year?
I think Ottawa will be the same, right? I think they'll be a good live dog, but they sort of have a ceiling. They don't quite spend the money like that some of the bigger city markets do. They're sort of a little bit they're a little bit hindered what they can do. Rob Vino, wagertalk.com. Awesome stuff as always, Rob.
Something to the fact that they blow all these leads against the Edmonton Oilers. It's like the Oilers could be down 4 goals and they come back like it's nothing.
We got a series now. I think this thing is going to reset, Scott. I think home ice advantage is going to hold true in this series. I think I told you that last week. I'm expecting this. I picked the Kings in 7 before the series started, and it's like plus 700.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Under him was Sharon Moore, who also participated in the cheating scandal with Connor Stallions. So you know what happens to him? He doesn't lose his job. He doesn't get a 10-year show cause. He gets to keep his job, and they go, we're just going to suspend you for 2 games next season.
Now, all of a sudden, they're coming out with everything that we knew to be pretty much true when it was happening. Yeah, they were cheating. It was like Belichick and the videotapes, right?
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
The Warriors' future was uncertain. Are they going to break it up? Steve Kerr coming back. They get Jimmy Butler, and they surge all the way through, and now they're through the first round.
The Warriors have guys, because of how special their star 3 trio is, they can make the guys around them better. They can elevate the way that they play. And we saw that. Steph Curry, 3 points in the first half, steps up in the second half, 19 points in the second half to carry them home.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. The Friday Night Freak Show continues. I am Morency. Winnipeg Jets up 3-0 after 2 periods of play. New in-game total is 4.5. We jumped on that in-game under 6.5 at plus money. Now over 4.5 is minus 190, which I actually think probably does get there because there'll be empty net goals and there'll be a couple of more goals in the third period of this game. Tony Finn steps up and with us, and I said it to Tony just so you stop typing and making noise. What's going on, Tony?
Making noise.
You and George Kurtz, the loudest noise. Would you attest to this, Greg? Actually, you're not here on Mondays a lot. Yeah, exactly. With his typing, Cam's pretty bad too.
I'm carefree. I'm one of those that listen.
Yeah, we know you're carefree.
Don't tell me what's on your mind. Scream at me, yell at me. I really don't give a,
No, I am telling you what's on my mind. Stop making noise. But all right.
What's going on?
It's all right, Tony. It's all right. You're not the only one. It's been driving me crazy all week with people. I'm like, dear God.
I even have
people.
Just so you know, I had bought supposedly the stealth keyboard. It's supposed to be, you turn on the stealth part of it, and no one can hear you coming.
It's not stealth at all.
No, I guess not. No, especially
it's not stealth at all. But we love you, Tony. All right, so Tony Finn in the house. All right, hold on, Tony. I got to get to this because I haven't I'm like, all right, we'll do it in a minute. But let's get to the best of X. Got a couple of baseball references in here. We got some stuff. Let's do this thing. All right, which one do we go? Which one you got here first? Where are we going here? All right, we'll go old school. Expos. This one really doesn't have any great relevance to it, Tony. Besides, it's just such a badass photo, and the uniform, amazing, right there. I'd put you on the spot, but the picture's a little small here. But there's Tim Raines. Our boy Greg Frank's a pretty good baseball historian. Can you name all these players, Greg, without looking anything up? Really? You know the other two, huh?
How about
the guy in the middle? He also played for the Pittsburgh Pirates. So I'll give you a little trivia type of. No. Scoop. Al Oliver.
Yeah, Al Oliver.
Scoop.
Okay.
Al Oliver. Yeah, look him up. Really good. Not a Hall of Famer, but I don't know, off the top of my head, I'll say that Al Oliver's like a 295, 300 type hitter. He was good. Like, he could hit the baseball. Let me look up his numbers here. And the other one, Warren Cromartie, the Crow. Warren Cromartie. Not quite a famous. Yeah, not quite as famous. Good baseball player, though, Warren Cromartie. Good player.
What's this photo supposed to resemble or present or represent?
Why is it relevant, and why is it?
Yeah, I mean, because
people on Twitter just like to remember the badassness of the Expos, Tony.
Gotcha.
It's as simple as that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I do too. Listen, there's a lot of badasses really that are in this.
One of the best teams never to win, Tony. The Expos, that Tim Raines, Gary Carter. Imagine this. Imagine, Greg, that one team. Tim Raines, Andre Dawson, Steve Rogers, Ellis Valentine was a great right fielder. Like, they were good, right? I mean, they lost on the Blue Monday in '81 to the Expos, to the Dodgers. Rick Monday hit the home run. And otherwise, they would have went to the World Series. And the Expos could have probably would have won the World Series. You never guarantee it. In 1994, remember, Tony, bro, they were the best team in baseball. They were like 40 games over 500. Yeah. I think they're off the top of my head. Actually, that might be a little exaggerated. Off the top of my head, I think they were 76-40. I think they were 36. I think that's what it was. 1994. All right, so I'm saying 76-40. I got to look this up quickly. Let's see.
Yeah.
Expos record.
Pound my keyboard.
See, can you hear me? I don't know. I can be pretty soft.
Yeah. They're good. Pound all you want. It doesn't bother me any.
It was pretty close. I said 76-40. They were 74-40. It's off the top of my head here. Wow, 74-40. The strike that killed the Expos World Series dream in 1994. And all right, what's our other best of X? We got so many of these things this week. What's our other one here? This is a good one. I like this one. So this is a little hockey playoffs for you, Tony. The Winnipeg Jets are playing the Dallas Stars, and KFC in Winnipeg. There's an area on the Portage is a street there, so a restaurant on Portage Street. I like this. They took a player on the Winnipeg Jets, and they replaced the Colonel Sanders. But they actually did it for real. This isn't AI. They actually did it at the restaurant for real. And they've rebranded here. So it's Kyle Connor here on KFC. It's not bad. I wouldn't mind getting my face up there instead of the Colonel.
No, not at all. I mean, I did a lot of contract work for that time it was Pepsi, but now Yum is their brand.
Would you kill people for them?
They've expanded their brand quite a bit. Contract work was I wasn't employed by them. I was contracted by them to do some work. Yeah.
You know, it's funny, Tony. When I was a teenager, actually, I used to go to one of those like work placement places. Like when I was like 12, 13, 14. They never should have sent me out, but they send you out to these places and you get paid and whatever.
Yeah.
And I ended up working at a Pepsi. I ended up working at a Pepsi factory. Yeah, but I got hired there after and stuff. So I worked at a Pepsi factory for a while, and I didn't want to drink Pepsi for like a couple of years after. I actually don't mind it now, but like, and it's everywhere too. They have like the free Pepsis. Like there's like these fountain machines everywhere. So you're like, oh God, but there's no water anywhere. They got like there's Pepsi and 7-Up everywhere. It's like your feet's like it's like sticky everywhere.
I'm a big Coke guy. All kinds of Coke. I'm just that big guy. But here I worked enough in the KFCs, and my sister-in-law, who was the head of HR for Yum, and she won't eat chicken to this day because of the stuff you see in the coolers and stuff.
I just can't get over, Tony, the irony here that anyone in your family works for HR and anything. like your sisters in HR, human resources. Tony Finn and human resources do not collide.
That's my sister-in-law. Yeah. I would be perfect for HR. Really, they always have the best help, but it wouldn't be motivated by respect. It'd be motivated by fear. So there you go.
What's your jersey? What's that baseball jersey you got on today? I can't tell. I can only see the top of it.
The Metropolitan.
Oh, look at this. Greg's going to cut your video feed right now. You're like, what the hell is that? Like,
Metropolitan. No, it's not Seaver. This is
what
actually
is
a
it?
new.
Any name on the back, or what do you? Any name? No, don't turn around. It's all right. We can. Anyway. Oh, look at that. Look at Tony fan, huh? New Alonso. What are you, an Alonso fan? What made you get a Pete Alonso Mets jersey?
Well, I think I've told the story, and I know maybe you just want to remember, but I'm a big Mets fan, big Kansas City Royals fan. Mets in the NL, Royals in the AL. Ever since
you and Paul Bovey, you're another
69.
one of these amazing Mets guys, from the '60s.
69 Mets really intrigued me with Saver and Ryan, and that group of players It was a year that I was without baseball almost, because the A's left Kansas City in '68 and moved to Oakland, right? And that I've talked about those teams. You talk about the greatest Montreal. How about the greatest names to not win 100 to lose 100 games? The '68 Kansas City A's, incredible. Catfish Hunter, Rolly Fingers. I go on and on and on. Who's on that team? They lose 99 games. Didn't lose 100 because one was rained out. They didn't make it up.
You know, Tony, that the Montreal Expos were supposed to be the Montreal Royals, but Kansas City beat them to the punch.
Yep.
Think that there's something to the fact that they blow all these leads against the Edmonton Oilers? It's like the Oilers could be down 4 goals and they come back like it's nothing.
We got a series now. I think this thing is going to reset, Scott. I think home ice advantage is going to hold true in this series. I think I told you that last week. I'm expecting this. I picked the Kings in 7 before the series started, and it's like plus 700.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Under him was Sharon Moore, who also participated in the cheating scandal with Connor Stallions. So you know what happens to him? He doesn't lose his job. He doesn't get a 10-year show cause. He gets to keep his job, and they go, we're just going to suspend you for 2 games next season.
Now, all of a sudden, they're coming out with everything that we knew to be pretty much true when it was happening. Yeah, they were cheating. It was like Belichick and the videotapes, right?
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
The Warriors' future was uncertain. Are they going to break it up? Steve Kerr coming back. They get Butler, and they surge all the way through, and now they're through the first round.
The Warriors have guys, because of how special their star 3 trio is, they can make the guys around them better. They can elevate the way that they play. And we saw that. Steph Curry, 3 points in the first half, steps up in the second half, 19 points in the second half to carry them home.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency, the pitch, the players, the hustlers, the people, the bust, but everybody else in between. Greg Frank, during the break, was looking up some the Expos 94. And Randy Johnson, they had Mike Langston. Remember him? That was a big move the Expos tried to get. They got Mike Langston, and they tried to win. In the old days, though, there was no wild card. I was there once. It was the year the Phillies won the World Series. So it was 1980, I would say, off the top of my head. It was 1980. Yeah, so I was 10 years old, and I remember I cried. Mike Schmidt made me cry. The Expos and the Phillies were tied for first place. Can you believe that? With 1 game left, and it was in Montreal. It was on like the last Sunday of the regular season. And was like a 1-0 game. I think Mike Schmidt. I remember Mike Schmidt hitting the home run. I remember like watching the ball. I was at the game, and I remember watching the ball. And I was like, well, that's that. And then, man, Mike Schmidt's another one that doesn't get talked about enough, Tony. Great player. Like,
yes,
scary good. Steve Carlton, too. He's another one. Like, he's like, that guy ruined my childhood, Steve Carlton. He was so good.
I have a friend, a high school teammate, that played years and years with Schmidt. Carlton, a group, was 12 years as a Philadelphia starting shortstop. Claim to fame, he had the lowest lifetime batting average. Steve Jeltz was his name. Steve Jeltz, shortstop.
I was going to say, yeah. I was going to say, not Larry Boa. You I would have known if you know Larry Boa at this time, but
no,
Larry
Steve
Boa
Jeltz
on that Phillies team, though. I'm pretty good if you had to, like, name the team. Like, Gary Matthews was a center fielder, Greg the Bull Luzinski, Mike Schmidt. Pete Rose. Well, Pete Rose, I think of Pete Rose. We all think of one team, the Expos.
The Reds. That's exactly what I think of.
He got his 4,000th hit when he was with the Expos, baby, all right? Yeah, Pete Rose, good call. Pete Rose bounced around a little bit. All right, so speaking of baseball, actually, I've been in hockey and basketball mode, Tony, and speaking of which, actually, second half has started. We got a close one, 64-61, Thunder and Nuggets. Any opinion on this game tonight for you?
Yeah, I'll take the Thunder. I mean, I know game one maybe was a surprise to some. That didn't really surprise me too much. I thought Denver and the Clippers LA played a grueling 7-game series, and I thought that less than 48 hours they'd still be held that high from winning that series and played pretty well in OKC. Not as well as they did play, but I think we saw the real OKC in last game. They just demolished them, albeit in the Thunderdome. But tonight, the second half is where the Thunder is always good. And right now, what's the live line for that? I'd be honest, if it was less than 3.5, minus 3.5, but it's not.
4.5 right now.
4.5, yeah, and still
4.5.
I would have to consider. Yeah,
just moved to 5.5 actually. Just what do you think tomorrow, Tony? What do you think tomorrow of the big game in New York with the Celtics and the Knicks?
Well, man, it's a great question. And if I wasn't so stupefied by, if I wasn't
it's a standard question, it's not that great of a question.
No, it's really,
I
it is a
appreciate
good question because most people are going to say, what are most people going to tell you? They're going to say the Celtics are going to come, they're going to bounce back, they're going to wake up. Tatum's going to be Tatum.
I'm taking the Knicks,
Tatum
personally.
has been Tatum.
I'm taking the 5.5.
I would take You're taking the 5.5? Well, I would try to take the 5.5 too. I really would. I don't. Tatum and Brown never have clicked. I thought last year's the championship was a bit of an aberration. I thought they played above their pay grade and their skill set. Really, I do. I don't think they're that great a team. They have some depth. White may be the second best. White may be the best team player on Boston. Brown has his ups and downs. He's not very hard. He's hard to get along with. And Tatum seems too relaxed to me. Like, I've already won this. What the hell? You guys, it's your turn to do your turn to do the dirty work. And the Knicks are hungry. I mean, can you believe that Brunson may be the most famous? He may be considered by New Yorkers as the best Knick ever. Right now, if you took a poll, he would.
That's just stupid. It's just stupid. I saw WFAN. I saw WFAN the other day, and whatever they're gonna, it's radio, whatever they're gonna have their things, but they were debating who's like the bigger king of New York, Brunson or Aaron Judge. And I'm like, you know what? If I'm Aaron Judge, I just leave at this point. I'd be like, you guys are comparing me to a dude that's won a first-round playoff series for you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, really?
But you have to say this: New Yorkers are fickle.
They're winning because of OG. They're winning because of Bridges.
Yeah.
Like, they're not even winning. I no disrespect to Brunson, but like this Brunson stuff, man, they love this guy there. I can't dispute it.
They love him. They love him. Yeah. I mean, and what a great move Brunson made. I thought it was a poor move on Brunson's part to leave Dallas. I thought he was going to get plenty. He's going to be years and years a Maverick, and when he did such, turns out I'm wrong. And
clearly you were wrong.
Clearly,
he was a star. He didn't want to sit behind Luka, right?
Well,
but that's another thing too. Look at Luka for all the criticism for the trade and stuff, but Porzingis didn't want to play with him, right? Porzingis didn't want to play with him. Brunson left, but didn't want to play with him. Carlisle left as the coach, didn't want to coach him and left. He didn't say, I'm leaving because of him, but who leaves? Like, no one brought that up. I brought it up at the time. I said, this guy's got a 23-year-old superstar, and he's going to coach the Pacers. He's like, I'm out of here. And Cuban still owned the team then, right? He was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm leaving. Right? So I'm just saying there's a lot of players that don't want to play with Luka. And it makes you wonder, though, who else is out there in the NBA that's just sitting sort of like a guy on a team that could – I've said that a lot. Like, there's a lot of guys in the NBA that can score 25 points a game if you let them. Right? If you gave him a chance to, like he could. Like Norman Powell's a good example of that. Like if you let him, he'll give you 24. But if you don't, you won't notice him. Right? It's like one of those deals. But so what are you doing, Tony, with the game? You're all over the place here. You like Boston or New York?
I am. No, here's what I like. And what I like is this. And I've gotten two at least.
I feel like I'm in an episode of Law and Order here. They try to get an answer.
Messages on. I'm going to be on whites. There's certain numbers on key numbers. They haven't come out yet, but I should probably check now. They are. And I like white and some props. Really, I'm not going to play the game on the side. If I do, I'm going to play over the total in this game, not a side.
I think there will be points.
Is that fair? Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, you like Derek White, and you like the over. I think Boston could win this game tomorrow, but I don't think it'll be a blowout. Either the Knicks win a close one or Boston wins a close one. So give me the Knicks plus the points.
Think that there's something to the fact that they blow all these leads against the Edmonton Oilers? It's like the Oilers can be down 4 goals and they come back like it's nothing.
We got a series now. I think this thing is going to reset, Scott. I think home ice advantage is going to hold true in this series. I think I told you that last week. I'm expecting this. I picked the Kings in 7 before the series started, and it's like plus 700.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Under him was Sharon Moore, who also participated in the cheating scandal with Connor Stallions. So you know what happens to him? He doesn't lose his job. He doesn't get a 10-year show cause. He gets to keep his job, and they go, we're just going to suspend you for 2 games next season.
Now, all of a sudden, they're coming out with everything that we knew to be pretty much true when it was happening. Yeah, they were cheating. It was like Belichick and the videotapes, right?
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
The Warriors' future was uncertain. Are they going to break it up? Steve Kerr coming back. They get Jimmy Butler, and they surge all the way through, and now they're through the first round.
The Warriors have guys, because of how special their star 3 trio is, they can make the guys around them better, and they can elevate the way that they play. And we saw that. Steph Curry, 3 points in the first half, steps up in the second half, 19 points in the second half to carry them home.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
All right, this is SportsRage. I'm Morency. Who was it in the chat? Shout out to Chris B. What's up, Chris B? I know you're a regular. Good to see you. Chris B asked, I didn't see the question earlier, but he said, you guys have any college football NFL futures? I sort of been talking about it a little bit, and the two I like, no, I haven't gotten to the college football numbers yet, but now post-NFL draft, the Falcons 7.5 is too late. All right, I think the Falcons 7.5 is too late. Hell, they won 8 games last year. They're going to be better this year. They've greatly improved their defense. Normally, I don't like to put stock in teams' drafts and say, well, they go this guy and that guy, because you never know who's going to be good or not. But I do believe that they got the type of dudes that are so good that they're going to be good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Like, don't tell me, like, we know the kids from Georgia are good. Don't tell me Jalen Walker's not going to be good. I know he's going to be good. He already is good. Don't tell me James Pierce isn't good. I know he's good. I just saw him get 17 sacks with the Tennessee Volunteers in the last 2 years. Don't tell me Xavier Watts, the safety out of Notre Dame, isn't good. Their defense wasn't the same when this kid wasn't on the field. Like, he's a floor general. Like, they got 3 starters on defense, and they've done a pretty nice job. They've added some pieces there on defense, and their offense is going to be good with Penix. But Tony Finn, what is Tony? Any opinion on the Golden State Minnesota game tomorrow?
First off, I'm one of the few, and I never like overs in futures, but I like Detroit over 10.5. I like
the Lions.
Over 10.5. Yeah, I do. With the changes they've had, I still like the Lions over 10.5. As far as Golden State goes tomorrow, I expect points in that game as well. I like Kerr. I respect Kerr. If you're going to argue with me whether Kerr's been a good coach or not, or has he good players, he was under one of the greatest coaches ever under Pop, and they're going to run. They're not going to want to face this Minnesota defense, half-court defense that's the best on-ball defense in the NBA. And if they're successful at all, Golden State is, for instance, I think you're going to see more than 220 points in the totals. What, 200, 201?
Yeah, 200.5, actually. I agree with you.
Yeah.
That one, I think there could be some points. People don't expect it. What's your quick take on the Pacers and Cavs game 4? Do you think the Cavaliers are going to even it up, or the Pacers will be better?
Well, the Pacers aren't going to. In game 1, they shot way above their pay grade as far as the 3-pointers. They took and made way above their season norm, and they won. I said last week when we talked that whoever wins the battle of the paint will win the game, and Pacers got abused tonight. Cleveland actually went to the paint, had layup after layup. As long as that continues, I like Cleveland the rest of the way out. In fact, I don't think Cleveland, if they play like they did tonight, and the Pacers don't pay any attention to the 2 bigs there for the Cavaliers, then I think they win 4 straight or 3 straight in the series.
Baseball update right now. The Dodgers have blown the big lead. Gurriel hit the grand slam. It's 9-8 Arizona right now, top of 7. Dodgers are plus 210. In-game totals, 20.5, plus 115. That's what it is to the over, 20.5. I thought the Yankees and Athletics would have more runs tonight, actually. So the Sacramento hasn't scored, right? At the bottom of the 7 right now. We got a 5-0 game. Yankees up 5 in that one. Baltimore up 3-1 on the Angels in the bottom of the 8th. And Blue Jays are a streaky team. Every time you think, you know what, time to fire everybody, they'll win a bunch of, they'll win 4 in a row. Then they'll lose 5 or 6. Then they'll win 3 or 4. Like, that's what the Blue Jays do. Blue Jays won last night. Now they're up 5-3 right now. Bottom of 8. Tony, I don't know if you've had the opportunity to take a look at the overnight baseball board yet. Has anything catching your eye tomorrow in baseball? Have you looked at it?
I have. There's one I really like, and that's I like pitchers, left-handed pitchers in Major League Baseball. Tomorrow night at the K, you see a pretty good matchup between Reagans and Gaucher, and that's only and the Royals are $1.20 or $1.15 dog with Reagans on the mound. I thought you saw a good example of what you probably see tomorrow, and that was not much hitting for either one of these teams. I think the Red Sox are overvalued. Offensively, their pitching's mediocre, pedestrian. In Kansas City, their starters have been great, or they're not even close to who they are right now because they can't hit the ball. I still would be on the Royals tomorrow night as the home dog and under the total of, and I think that total tonight was 9. I think it's 7.5 or 8 tomorrow, but I still like the under.
Yeah, down to 7.5. Good call last week. I forget what game it was, but you liked the under, and it did hit last week. And don't forget, too, Boston. So their owner, John Henry, actually is getting, I don't know, I'm going to say fed up, but it's very rare that you're going to see an owner fly to visit the team on the road. So, like, to basically talk to Devers, right? Devers is refusing to play first base now.
I know.
You moved him from third base to DH. He didn't like it, and now it's just like he's like, no, I'm not doing it.
I like Devers. I like him.
Other than that, you're on your own later.